what was Eckhart Tolle on about? So I've figured out the only spiritual teaching that he actually talks about, and this is the same for all of the religions and all of the religious texts. And it's not even that spiritual, and it's not that deep. In fact, it's quite a practical step. So the teaching is presence, but you've heard him talk about that word before, and you've heard that word thrown around, but it doesn't really mean a lot unless you know what to do with it. So presence is the acceptance of the present moment exactly as it is. Now, The Power of Now is the first book on my list of belief books to help you understand and create a model of reality. But I've read The Power of Now, A New Earth, some of his other books, listened to Alan Watts' lectures, lived in a monastery with some Tibetan monks, meditated for hours. Like I've spent a lot of time trying to figure this out, and there is only one spiritual teaching, right? So you notice in Eckhart Tolle's lectures and his seminars, his speeches, he'll kind of just zone out and do that kind of gormless look, and that's pretty much it. It's presence, acceptance of the present moment exactly as it is, and not creating stories in your head. So not thinking of reality other than it is. It's being in reality exactly as it is without tarnishing it with your own mind. And that's it. It's just be here now. But we are all so busy with the thoughts in our head that we're not actually present. So give the present moment your full attention and don't resist what is, right? So all you have is this present moment. So give the present moment your full attention and don't resist it. It is what it is. Like, it's really cold at the moment, and I'm not, like, in my head I could be saying, oh, I should have done this at home because I'm freezing cold. You just accept that that's a thought, that's not reality, because I'm not at home, I'm here. So if I start thinking like that, then I'm not accepting the present moment as it is. So presence, I'm here. I can hear the waves. I can feel the cold on my skin. And I'm not judging, I'm not saying, oh, I can hear the waves, how beautiful. I'm just accepting the present moment as it is, and I'm not resisting. I could be saying, I can hear the waves, it's probably wrecking the audio on this video. But I'm not. I'm accepting the present moment as it is. So be in reality, not your mind. So I'm not in my head, I'm looking around. There's like concrete blocks, and I'm thinking this is a nice place of nature, and these concrete blocks are ruining it. Well, that's a thought, that's not reality. The reality is that is nature. So I hope I'm doing this point justice. So to be in presence, you stop thinking, you disidentify with the mind and just be. Right, so that's presence. So this is an interesting one. You stop creating psychological time, right? So Eckhart Tolle talks about two types of time. There's clock time and psychological time. So clock time, let's take an example of you're going to go on a date, right? And you tell the person, meet me here at 7 o'clock, or I'll pick you up at 7 o'clock, right? So you've used clock time, and you can both agree that 7 o'clock is when you're going to meet. So that's clock time. Now you go on the date, and you're having a nice meal, and I've got a dog. Where's my dog gone? There he is. So you're having a nice meal, and you should be present. So you should be accepting the present moment as it is and enjoying the other person's company in the date. But you might be in psychological time, which is you might just get thoughts of, after this date I have to clean my house, or after this date my electric bill's due tomorrow and I don't know if I can afford it. So you're in your head. You should be present on the date. Now, you should be excited about the date, and that probably won't be a problem. So this will probably occur, say you're at work, right, or a generally boring activity. You might really enjoy your work, but say you're doing a boring activity, like driving to work. You use clock time to get to work at 8 o'clock, but you might drive the whole way. Have you ever driven to work and when you get there you think, I don't even remember that drive? I could have literally like run somebody over and didn't even remember. It's like you transported or teleported from home to work, and the drive, you don't remember who you saw on that drive. That's because you're in your mind. You're not in reality. You're in psychological time. You're thinking, when I get to work, I've got to do this. After work, I've got to do that. So you ruin your life experience with psychological time. So the date is going to be ruined if you're in your mind thinking about what's happening after the date or what happened before. So it can be past or future, and then present is reality, right? So psychological time gets in the way of reality, but clock time doesn't, because clock time you can use in with presence. Hello, dog. Hello, you. We just got to pet a dog. No? So, dog's done a run up. See you later, bud. So, the answer is living in complete acceptance of what is. Like this, I'm recording this video and that dog's just come up. Now I could think, oh, that's going to ruin the video. Or I could just think, now there's a dog in the video. Do you know what I mean? If I'm going for perfection, something I've created in my mind, then that would annoy me. But in reality, I like dogs. Well, I don't even need to like it. It's not a case of good or bad. I've just accepted reality as it is. That's reality. The reality in my head where I record a video that's perfect and a dog doesn't come up and there's nobody walking in the background doesn't exist. That's not real. I'm insane. That's technically insanity. When you think of things in your mind that aren't real, that's insanity. The opposite of sanity is the acceptance of the present moment exactly as it is. And that is the only spiritual teaching. Be here now, be present. I hope I'm making that, I'm hoping this actually makes sense. So, how can you cultivate presence? So one way of doing it is, and I heard Eckhart Tolle say this, is you cultivate inner body awareness, right? So the way you do that is, he says, close your eyes and hold your arm out. How do you know your arm's still there? Right, there is a subtle feeling of your arm being. That's presence. Your arm is present, right? You can do that with your whole body, and if you focus on that, that's the actual truth. That's what's really there. That's present. The thought that you can think my left hand is there and it's blue, but it isn't blue, because when you open your eyes, it's not blue. And when you open your eyes, it might not be there. No way, I'm going off on a mad one here, but the reality is, when you close your eyes and you can feel your arm there, that's reality, that's presence, and that's inner body awareness. And you very rarely feel that, so that's meditation essentially. When do you ever sit down and have no thoughts in your mind and just feel that presence of, oh, I can feel my body there, I can feel my legs and my arms and my face and my torso. You never do that. And I think there's like a powerful healing effect when you do that. You don't have thoughts and you just let the body be. Because you're always running around trying to figure this out, trying to get that. So you want to transition from doing and getting to being. And that's presence. So Buddhism talks about the cause of all suffering is desire, right? So if I want this video to have nobody walking in the background, I desire a video with nobody walking in the background. When somebody walks in the background, I suffer, right? But if I didn't desire, if I thought, oh, I don't mind if people walk in the background or not, it'd be nice either way, I don't desire, well then I'm not going to suffer. And it's very hard to not do this with certain things, because you might think, oh, it's all right you saying that for something as irrelevant as people walking in the background. But what about this cancer that I'm dealing with? If you can desire no outcome, like if one way or the other doesn't bother you, then you won't suffer. So two people can have cancer, one can suffer and one can not suffer, and this is the difference. And it's easy for me to say I don't have cancer, but that's how nature and reality actually functions, right? You think like if you've got two trees growing in, let me try and think of an analogy. You've got two trees growing, right? One of them grows up and is healthy, and the other one gets some sort of like disease and falls down. It doesn't really bother you either way. I mean, unless you're attached to the trees and they're in your garden or whatever, but just two random trees. One grows good, one grows up and then falls over. It doesn't really bother you either way, and that's the nature of everything. It's neither good nor bad, it's just our association to it. We say, oh, it's terrible that I've got cancer, or it's terrible that my favourite tree has fallen over. But in reality, if you accept reality as it is, since the dawn of time, people have been born and died. Everybody has been born and died. There's nothing really good or bad about that. If everybody lived forever, the world would be a totally different place, and maybe that would be bad. So accept reality exactly as it is. So if all suffering and all problems go away if you stop thinking about them. You think, for example, and the other thing is, you can't predict the future, right? So say you have got cancer. Or no, let's use a different example. Say your car has got its MOT tomorrow, and it's going to cost you £300 and you don't have £300, right? So you might stress, and you need your car to get to work. So you might stress and suffer because I don't have the money. Now you can create that story, but you can't predict the future, right? So you could be walking down the road and find £300 on the floor. Stranger things have happened. It's very unlikely, but stranger things have happened, right? So you walk down the road, find £300. You've been telling yourself a story for a week that you can't afford your MOT, and now you can. So you technically just created a false reality. Now chances are you're not going to find the £300 and you won't be able to afford your MOT. But you don't know. You can't predict the future and how it's going to go. Or you might get fired from your job before you need the MOT, and now it's actually quite good that you don't have your car, because you're not going to pay the £300 and you're going to get rid of your car anyway. So yeah, anyway, there's only one spiritual teaching, and it's presence. Actionable step is be here now, and the way you do that is inner body awareness. Close your eyes, feel your body. Oh yeah, even though I've closed my eyes, I'm still here. I can still feel that I'm here. And look around. You do this as a child. It's probably been a while since you just look and go, there's no words for it really. I'm just looking at this rock and there's like red bits in it. This is the only way Eckhart Tolle can explain it as well. He just kind of looks gormless into the distance, and it's because he's there. So you use your senses for this. So listen to the waves. What can I smell? What can I taste? What can I feel? What can I see? Presence. And you might say, oh, well, that's all well and good, but my bills still need paying. They do, but there's stressing about it. It doesn't actually solve anything, so you might as well be present. And another practical step you can use for this is when you go into bed, a lot of people overthink just before bed, and it ruins sleep and makes sleep really difficult. half an hour before you go to bed, do this. Be present. I light a candle, it makes it easier, it gives you something to focus on. But don't have any thoughts in your head for half an hour before you go to sleep. No thoughts, because for that half an hour that you would normally be overthinking, what have you achieved in the past? It's not like in the half an hour before bed you have a load of thoughts and you act on them and it solves all your problems. No, you just ruminate on issues. So lay in bed, no thoughts. I can't achieve anything in this half an hour anyway. The best thing I can achieve is relaxation, so my sleep's good, so tomorrow I can solve my problems. So another point that comes from this is not rushing. I tend to rush around everywhere, and bearing in mind I mentioned this, but I still lack presence a lot. So this takes practice, and you have to decide to be present. It's not some spiritual awakening that just happens to you. You have to focus and say, right, be present, and then you'll become unconscious and you'll be in your head thinking about the future, thinking about the past, and then you say, right, be present again. So you cultivate presence. So yeah, we got another dog. Right, anyway, let me know if that made any sense at all, because I think I just rambled for 16 minutes, but done.